All right, what's up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be doing another version of the automated crafting. I recently released a video a few days back where we were looking at using smart bins and smart storage bins and one kind of messy buffer-based memory automation thing to make it so that you could automate your queue orders so that you don't have to like constantly manually go tell your dupes to rebuild things when you run out. And I have, heard a lot of feedback where people talk about like using weight sensors, and weight sensors is definitely a thing. But I wanted to take the time this morning to do kind of a specific type of weight sensor build that I have in my mind. Now, I've done different weight sensor systems before, and I was never a huge fan of them. For different reasons. Like everything, usually you have positives and negatives to building things in different ways. And you'll hear me say a lot that I'm a firm believer that, there's no, one perfect way for everything in this game. It's just a matter of, what you need, what works for the map, and, what you feel like doing. Anyhow, so I'm going to try putting together a little bit of a different system where we're going to look at the pros and cons. And that way people can decide, if they like this version or the other version better. Let's get into it. So we're on a sandbox mode here. And we're on a one of my we're in the lab. And I've been putting together kind of like a little mini colony here. Eventually, I want to get this like this little thing to like a base minimum kind of self-sufficiency so that I can do more tests in here. I want to actually use dupes for my tests. I don't like spawning in stuff. I mean, obviously we spawn this stuff in, but I like to see like the sequence of events when they do it, because I feel like you run into different problems when you actually have the dupes have to go and do the work. Anyhow, so don't mind this here. We'll build it right over here, and then we'll do maybe a little connection bridge so that we can actually use them. It's a perfect example where we're going to need people to actually, potentially build stuff to see how it goes if we decide to do that. So in the last video that I did, we used a smart bin, right? We used smart bins. So we had this, and then we had, smart bins with NOT gates. And we were basically saying, hey, we're sending signals to the station. We were using medical, and I'll try to stay consistent for the purpose of the experiments. But basically we were doing this. And then when the bin had, when it had whatever we wanted it to have, it would shut down the station that it's attached to via, what is it? Shift like this, via the automation, right? So it was pretty simple. This was connected, and it would basically shut the station on or off. So you would just say the station, hey, build forever, infinite build. This only holds a small amount. When it's full, the station stops. So you can queue stuff, with the downfall being that you have to do it all the time, or that, you have to have one station per container. And that there was a power consumption issue with this, which led us to building, this spaghetti system. The thing with, I gotta get my hotkey brain going here. I'm still on my second cup of coffee. The thing with weight plates, where some people talk about how you can basically accomplish the same thing or similar, right, with weight plates, which is true. So you could use your weight plate as your sensor. So, you would have it, let's say, I don't know, wherever here. And then, I mean, you can move it. This isn't perfect setup here, but I'm just saying you would have this, and then the weight plate would come in. And then the weight plates, don't have any power requirements. And then you could use an automated dispenser, right? Let's actually move this over one, delete, click, okay. And so let's say you do something like this, right? So they come over, and then they drop it on the plate, and then we would have the plate connected. Let's have a look here. So we would have this thing connected to here. And then we would say this holds whatever, back to the one example, you go like that. And then you would have some sort of power, obviously, that has to run everything. This, at the moment, go like that, bada bing, bada boom. Colony research stuff. Okay, so I have a couple dupes that are sitting over here. Hopefully they don't die. They're idle. Connect bad boys up here. And it looks like they don't have any skills. So let's give them some basic stuff. So this is going to be doctoring. So we will have them learn how to do doctoring quickly. A couple stuff on them. Boom. Do doctoring and they can move stuff around. Good. Okay. Farming, construction, digging. We don't really care about any of that for the moment. Okay, so then let's say we have, we'll just show this. So now on this line right now, so, okay, well, this is actually something. I thought that this only used, oh no, wait a minute, I did it wrong. I did this wrong. Did I do it wrong? No, we would disable this, right? So what's the point then if we're just spending a 60, defeats the whole point. If we have a never-ending power supply on this, unless hide it all in, but that wouldn't work because then we would have a red signal. Because the point that, the big issue with the other build, all right, just so I know I'm talking in my head here. The big issue with the other build was that we have a never-ending power draw, right? So, I mean, it's not a big issue. If you have a lot of power, then whatever. But we were trying to get to a point where there was the pulsing power, which is why I had made all the automation. Now, if this is a steady power draw as well, see, for some reason, I thought the dispenser only was a power draw when it was being used, but it looks to me that it is a constant power draw. We could not gate the signal maybe, right? Hold on. All right, let's pull that off for a second. Oh, it's live. Okay, so we go like that. So could we reverse the signal for this? Because this kind of defeats the whole purpose of what I wanted to do here this morning if these things are using power. So the logic here is we say, okay, this does, let's say this does med pack. Let's say this is set to hold 1. This can only disperse med packs. Med packs use coal. Or no, let's do one just with coal actually, but one that they're not going to use. So let's take them off of sort of medication. What is this? Toggle off. Sometimes I wish I could make these bigger. All right, so we've turned off vitamin shoes, right? So let's change this to vitamins as well. Okay. We're gonna need coal, so we're gonna have to brush some coal on here. Say coal, yep, said coal. All right, so this should work. We say a vitamin choose forever, and it makes a vitamin shoe, but no, this is disabled right now. Do we have to reverse the signal? Oh no, we just do this and go like that. Okay, well that's convenient. My big issue right now is that we have a 60 on the load, which I'm not a fan of because I feel like the whole point of this was to deal with the power. But I have a feeling that we may be able to figure out a way to just flip that over. So one of the other issues that is like inherent with this, which I complain about, is that your dupes are going to run over top of the button when they're moving around, right? So that's good. That's pretty straightforward. I don't mind that. So hold on. If we just run that right on, now that this is already reversed, we just run it reversed because then now the signal is tied to that. So now it's off. Is it off? The hell is he doing? He's picking it up and he's going to keep putting it back in. We've created a loop here. But what is the point of the signal that I just put on? It's green. It drops. It's red. But the red doesn't seem to be controlling anything. And do we still have power on the line? And we still have power on the line. So what's the point of that? I don't really know. So if we go like that, right, he just keeps doing this. It's a never-ending loop. Oh, you have to put it on sweep only. Does that make a difference? I just feel like the way is a pain. I know this is doable because I've seen people do builds like this before. You could like restrict access. You could use automation sweepers. Like there's different things you can do, but it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish here. The other thing that I'm thinking, what if we did this? We would create the same loop though, no? How much power do these more? Is it always running or is it off when it's not? Say no, zero load when it's not in use. Aha, I call this progress. And then you could zero load when not in use. And then a sweeper, also zero load when not in use. And so then we would say, because these have allow manual use, so they wouldn't be allowed to use it, right? So let's say we come in here. Oh, he fills this, and then shipping, we just literally just route it over. Will it work on the same tile like this? And then we do, what were we doing? Vitamin shoes? All right, so let's think about this for a minute. Everything's good, I believe. So we have 0 current load. Now, the other thing here is that when it is being used, it's a much larger draw because we're now running, instead of having, you know, a 60-second blimp, we have 240, but it would be like for, you know, a fraction of a second, basically. I wonder if we could measure it. We could measure it. Do I want to take the time to measure it? I guess is more the question. All right, let's just see. Vitamin, choose, green signaled. So in theory, when these guys wake up, he should come over and he should make it, and this should all happen on itself. I kind of like it more, to be perfectly honest. I feel like it's simpler, but can we incorporate the smart bin into this? This is a nice little, like, you know, a nice little way to do this. This guy is slow. All right, what do I want to measure here? Do I want to watch automation or do I want to watch power? So it doesn't really matter. So this should happen very quickly. Picked up, put, dropped. Whoa, what's happening? Oh, shit. Okay, so, go away, mister. Problem solved, right? So there's no power use here unless it's specifically happening. Now, what if they wanted to walk by? Can they get by here? I mean, I guess they can jump over. This whole thing, we have no power. In, out, fills, drops, he leaves. It's not bad. So, I mean, we could, I think, calculate how long can we do with this? Do like a wattage sensor with a counter. I mean, or we can literally just, you know, count ourselves. It's got to be like 1 second or like half a second, literally. So I'm sure that it's just a flat blurb of 240. I don't know. I like it. The other thing that I was initially looking at was because we were also talking about decor, you know, because all this stuff looks nasty. So we could, you know, try to clean this up a little bit. Something like that. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. What does that gives us? 985. You don't need perfect decor, but you just want enough decor that you're not hurting their decor. So here you go. You got maximum decor, 0 tile usage, and we can set the number to whatever we wanted. The other thing too is I don't think the dupe would ever accidentally run over top of this because this is here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let me look at this. And you also, what if you just put a statue here for, because here you're getting 24. We'll test that really quick. What else could we do? We got 24. What did I want to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to check this guy running past. Because that's another downfall is, yeah, see, he goes over. So he would never accidentally trigger the plate. So 0 running power consumption, no decor penalty, easier to set up, looks better than all that crap, and he runs over top of it. I think I like this more. And then if I tell him he can eat it, obviously he can pick that up, no problem. I don't need to test that. The last thing let's do real quick is let's look at the decor and let's just see. Don't think it will be as good, but we can check it. We'll go like this, go back to red. We're running, because the more stuff you have on a pile, right? Because they're worth like -1 each. Usually for like junk stuff on the ground or debris. Not 100% how much. I think it was 1 per, but I could be wrong. Let's just try metal, because these guys are super easy all the time. I don't think it's going to be as good. But if it was as good or close to as good as the tiles or the carpet, then we don't have the speed reduction, which is kind of nice. No, not really. I mean, you can still run carpet tiles on the top because that's kind of like a no-brainer. All right, we'll see how that is, and then we'll add the carpet tiles on the top. I like the concept of not having the slow speed on the floor, you know, because then we can, you know, keep everybody going fast around here. Because the plastic gives 5 with the 50, but this is giving us 5.5. 5.5 with what material? Granite gives us 6. So, all right, so let's have a look at this. So positive, we're at 35-ish, 83 in the corner. They're going to be standing here. So your decor at their feet is going to be 74. This is where they're going to carpet tile. Could run this across the top. Maximum decor where they're standing, maximum all across their floor, right? Because the bottom tile is what counts for the dupe. So here you would have this, you would have no exposure, and yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. How do we make it better? Make it give it a nice little, make it look like this maybe. So there we go. I'm going to leave it at that, honestly. Oh no, I lost my block. We could actually make the block out of carpet tile. He's just jumping over it, but is that going to make him go a lot slower because he has to pass over top of this at a... We don't need it, honestly. We don't need it. We already have full... I like this. I think I'm going to blueprint this thing in my little blueprint thing I made. I don't know how to do it though. New blueprint. I've never actually made like legit ones. They're all just like time-saving stuff that I do because I don't want to have to press delete to delete blueprint. All right, so now let's do this. We're gonna go new blueprint. Do I need the power and everything too? Because I don't know when they make blueprints, like is it gonna freak out if it doesn't have the right material to wire it up? I don't know, whatever. Just put it in. Called it automated. Oh, I can't spell. All right. I'm going to leave it like that. Let me know what you guys think. I personally like this a lot better than what I did the other day. It was actually a lot of, people just in the comment as we're talking, I start to constantly think about, different ways to do it better. And, I get ideas and I get motivated to go and mess with it a little bit more. So thank you guys for that. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you guys in the next video.